I'm here, we're on. So,
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on?
so let me start. I have this question for y'all. Who was
Mhm.
the very first rapper that put you onto music? Do you guys remember? Like, who was the very first?
Can I answer this question first? I
Yeah, I
know
was waiting
I
for you.
know Louis' question. I know Louis' answer, but I want to answer this question first because
Yeah.
hold on, let me just say this one first. For me, it was Jay-Z. I think the first time I heard 99 Problems, I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
know I didn't know rap could be so intricate because especially for growing up in the South, it was just booty shaking music. Yin Yang Twins, them franchise boys. I was just like, I thought that's what rap was. And then I heard 99 Problems. I was like, whoa, I didn't know rap could be so intricate. And for me, that was just like, that's what made me a fan of like hip hop as the genre.
That song definitely changed the game.
Yeah.
What about you, Lua?
For me, Lil Wayne, and I know Femi knew that answer.
Yeah, yeah, I do that.
Yeah, because like honestly, I remember the first time I heard the song "Go DJ" when I saw that video. I was just like, okay, this is like I guess this is like something that I knew that was a little different. And then I remember when the whole Young Money thing came out, I was like, okay, I'm floored. I'm a fan. You know, like actually like the first album that I ever bought, which is randomly, it's a Lil Wayne album, but it's not his rap album. It was his rock album, right? I
Oh,
bought, yeah, his rock album was the first album I ever bought, and I still listen to it to this day because I'm like, genre bending, lyricism. I think everything when it came to him, I just like, he was the reason why I wanted dreadlocks. He was the reason why I wanted tattoos. He was the reason why I wanted, you know, cars and all those things. He was kind of the best and worst influence a boy could ever have.
I knew he was gonna say Little Wayne. I think Little Wayne was like that for literally every kid.
Mm.
I think Lil Wayne was just like the epitome of cool growing up because he was the only rapper who like did things that was different. He's the only rapper that like actually stood out. Other than Kanye, to me, like he was the only rapper that like really stood out. Oh, and Pharrell. I mean, I'm not putting them down, but in terms of just like I want to do that, like Lil Wayne was like the cool guy
what
because
was the
when I saw Lil Wayne, I was like, yeah.
what was the song for you, Lua? What was the Wayne song that did it for you?
The Wayne song that did to me. Oh man. I mean, the one that I knew the most, I would say it's either a Millie or it is the song "Every Girl," the Young Money one, right? Because I remember because a lot of my music taste is sort of referenced from moments when Fola, your wife, would play songs on repeat. So the songs that she would play on repeat constantly just stuck to memory. So I feel like it's either Amelia or Every Girl because those were the ones that just I remember listening to the most. Like,
Yeah, definitely 99 by JC and A Milli by Wayne. It's really did just change the game. It was
mm,
just
Yeah.
before and after that. Because it was such a different. I remember 99 Problems was like I wasn't even into rap, but I've always been into metal and all that stuff. To just listening to 99 Problems was like, what is this? Right? It was so hard. That was just you had to pay attention to it. And Amelie, I think it's also the same, right? You just I had it was the few like very few songs I had on my iPod at the time that were not metal. It was like a Milli, 99 Problems. I'm trying to think of it. Probably some Eminem, whatever Eminem was doing at the time, I think. Um,
Mhm.
but what was your all discovery? How would you back then? How would you discover shit? Like you
So
heard 99 Problems and it's like, I need more. Like, how was your
yeah,
path?
for me, like everything was sort of like funneled down to me from older people, right? Because
Yeah.
like my biggest influence in terms of taste and culture was Femi, right? Because like he was just like the most eclectic person that I knew, right? When it came to just everything, right? Like I mean, like our dad used to listen to Bob Marley, but I never really listened to it until Femi put me on to it. Like in terms of movies, same thing, but like the main first connection that I feel like when it came to influence was our older cousins that we had. Uh, we went to their house and they would put on MTV, and that's how I figured out what MTV was. So like
Yeah.
before we go to school, we put on MTV, and that's how we kind of got like a taste of whatever was going on in music at the time, just like the top 10, TRL, and all those things.
Okay, so we're not
Yeah.
that apart. I thought I was living in a different era. Because I grew up I would discover things by going to the magazine shop and picking up the metal magazine.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's how I would like there was barely any internet back in 98. So I would go to the magazine shop and they were like Guitar World and I think it was called Revolver was the metal magazine. So I would pick all those magazines and you would like flip it and you would find ads or they would talk about new artists and there's like, oh, and then I would go to the record shop. So I would go to a magazine first and like, oh, who are these? And it was all on because of the cover. Like the cover was oh, this looks interesting. Let me go check it out and go to the record store at the same mall and listen to whatever cover. Like that was how
Wait,
I started it.
Trav, I have a question for you before I answer yours. Um, so like how you said metal magazines, were you like a big like underground kid? Like did you like small like bands that like were very
Yeah.
niche? Or like were you like very into like what was very popular? Because I know during that time, like you said 98, I think of like Korn,
Yeah.
I think of like Deftones,
Yeah.
Slipknot,
Yeah.
that new metal craze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you
That's
like
how I,
into that, or was it like more
yeah.
so like did you like
Well,
niche?
that's how I got in because of MTV. So I
Yeah.
got in because that MTV would show those bands. And then I would go to the magazines and see a band like Meshuggah. They're like, oh, they don't play this in MTV. Let me go to the record store and look for them. Like, holy shit, this is why they don't play. Pantera. Well, Pantera is old. It's like older, but because of the magazines, I would like, oh, Pantera, what is this? And the record at the time, I loved that record. And then all those, because yeah, I started with Slipknot, and then I just got like, you want as a metal head, you like want heavier and heavier and heavier. Like, okay, well, at one point, like Slipknot is not enough, and like, what's the heaviest next thing? And then like you keep going through this rabbit hole until you find like black metal, and that's where I stopped. Like, ooh, that's like I don't need to burn churches. That's
Yeah, because it gets so deep. I feel like with like metal, once you get into it, like you're like, oh, Linkin Park is dope, and then like, you get into it, and you're like, wow, like there were Norwegian bands that were demonic that burned down churches.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. That's like, ooh. I mean, I don't know if I want to go there.
Yeah. I really love this question because I feel like as a kid there were so many different influences.
Yeah,
So what Lewis said first was cousins, because
yeah.
I remember being young watching TRL with them. Fall Out Boy would be playing, Simple Plan would be
Oh
playing,
yeah, yeah,
big
yeah,
pop punk alternative bands like that. I was just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's my to me 2000s was like peak existence. I don't know about you
yeah,
guys, but
yeah,
2000s was
yeah.
peak
Same,
existence.
same.
So like Simple Plan, Good Charlotte, uh My Chemical Romance, that whole
Yeah.
wave of just like that alt music and pop punk music, I was just so enthralled by as a kid next to hip hop. So that was definitely a huge influence. The another influence was Fela because Fela was anything that was popping, she'll play it all the time, and that's how Lou and I was like in the know. So if it
Yeah.
was Hannah Montana when we were very young, she would play the Hannah Montana. If it was Paramore, she had the Paramore on. If it was Nicki
Yeah.
Minaj, she had the Nicki Minaj on. So we were so enthralled and introduced to it. Even like with bands like what's that one band, Brandon Urie's band, Panic at the Disco,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even stuff like that. I just remember fall playing that and definitely being influenced by that too, just by that whole genre. Not being super big fans, but just being in the know because you know when you're a girl, girls at that age are just super fanny, just big fans and big like ah. So like just hearing it constantly, like yeah, that was definitely something that influenced the just even taste in general. Another influence, man, I had really cool friends that had really cool bigger brothers. So I just remember I had a friend, his name was Aaron Sanchez. And I remember his older brother was like literally the coolest guy in the world. Like he'll put me on to all these just like weird alternative little like music. Like I remember being like in fourth grade and like his brother would play like, are you familiar with Buckethead? Like
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Buckethead? He
Guitar
threw
player.
that on and I was literally like, wow, like this is literally the coolest shit I've ever seen. This guy in the mask with a KFC bucket just thrashing
Yeah.
on the guitar.
Yeah.
I was so just infatuated by that. And I think that's
Yeah.
what put me onto the idea of underground was
Yeah.
seeing stuff like that. It's like, oh, there's something bigger than like a mainstream frame of music. So
Yeah.
that kind of got me more. I just had really cool friends that had older brothers that were really cool that were into cool shit. And that just like kind of made me just expand with music taste, with rock, rap, electronic music,
Yeah.
so many different things. Yeah. And like as a kid, like I went through phases, man. Like big rap, I had big old school rap, metal, punk, um, alternative, pop punk, like you name it. I went through a phase and I listened to it heavy. Yeah. Just because of just all the things I saw just growing up, you know?
Yeah. That that that's almost like I what I went through. Like my main thing was metal, but I would divert here and there. If anything is good, like damn, even like a Justin Timberlake song, I'd be like, oh, this is good. Like I won't
Yeah.
listen to the whole album, but that song is fire. You know? Like if
Yeah,
music is good, music is good. And that's true for any art, I guess.
yeah, definitely. And I think when you're younger, it's always because like your friends are just like, oh, that's so lame. Because like they're probably listening to like when I remember being a kid, like secretly liking what's that one group? I remember being a kid and like secretly liking
Is it girls or guys?
in terms of the artist,
Yeah.
I think it was a girl group.
Pussycat Dolls?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I remember being a kid and like liking like Pussycat Dolls and like those little pop songs. And then like my friends would be like, "Oh, that's so," because like as a kid, you're like everything was like, "That's so lame, that's so gay," is what everyone would say. And you just like kind of like be like, "Yeah, right." Like I would never listen to that, but then like in your headphones, you would be like, "If I could be sweet, sweet, sweet," a real bad girl, but like secretly to yourself because like you,
With a
because like
Slipknot t-shirt, with a
with a
Slipknot
Slipknot
t-shirt.
t-shirt, right? Yeah, with a Slipknot t-shirt.
It's funny,
That's
like
funny.
over like the past week, like my workout mix has sort of been like I've been throwing in that like Cassie song, Me and You, a lot in there. Because like for
Mm.
some reason, like every time I listen to that song, I'm just like, wow, like this song slaps. And like even as a kid when I heard it, I was just like, this song slaps, but I'm not gonna tell anyone. Right?
Yeah,
You know?
So
it
what
was like
about
that. It was like that even with Jonas Brothers too. I remember even being that with Jonas Brothers. Like I remember loving Jonas Brothers, But like just being a boy in school, like you're not gonna be like, I love Jonas Brothers because everybody will question, like, do you like girls too? It's like, yes, but like I also like Jonas Brothers.
What about the OG rappers? Do you guys, what do you, because I don't know, some of the, I can't listen to some of the like really very early rap. It sounds a little too whack for me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so
Are we
like
talking about like 80s or 90s?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
just like
like
all those?
like the early Dr. Dre, like EC, like uh what is it? What is it? Run DMC, like the early Run DMC, like did it like I don't know, it sounds a
Big Day
little
King, Kumo D, LL Cool J, stuff like that?
see,
yeah.
but it's funny, right? Because like even like Femi said, he had phases for everything. So there was this big Wu-Tang phase that he had where like all we would play is just Wu-Tang Clan. And I remember just like thinking to myself, like, wow, like this is music. And this is at the time when like, you know, like the young thugs are coming out, and I was just like, nah, Wu-Tang's where it's at. Totally like outsider to the whole culture. Cause again, like when it's all funneled to you and you just like see it and you're just like, wow, this really resonated with the time,
Yeah.
right? Artists like that were just like they seemed like they were it and nothing else could beat it.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
100%.
when you're young, I remember like when I was young, it's like, oh, I need to listen to the early metal, like, and I didn't like it, but it's like, oh, I have to like drill it into my mind, and like, you have to
I had
get.
to be a student. I had to be a student. I had to know like where it came from. It's like I
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
know
yeah,
like my favorite band's influences and their favorite influences. I had to like that was like my thing. Like I had to know their
yeah.
influences and their influence. Like I was like I had to pinpoint like, where it all like stemmed back from. You
Exactly. And
know?
then you were like listening really hard, like, oh
You're like,
man, this is whack, but like I gotta uh
okay, okay. Yeah, you're
but
it's
but
kind of like that.
but do you guys fuck with some of the old rappers at all?
So like what Lewis said, I had a big just like old school rap phase. Like in high school,
Yeah.
like heavy on the Wu-Tang Clan, Tupac, B.I.G., DJ, what's that guy's name? I think his name is DJ Quick. Yeah, from LA. I loved all that old school stuff, like the stuff that was on Yo MTV Raps. I was really big into that because one, like I said, I really anything that like my favorite artists liked, I wanted to know what they liked. So
Right,
at
right,
that
right, right.
time, I was also really into like Joey Badass, Underachievers, Flatbush Zombies, and they were heavily influenced by that genre of rap music. And I wanted to kind of delve in and see what that was like. And I loved it because it had that same energy that a Joey Badass, Flatbush Zombies, Underachiever had, Pro Era had. But it was just like, it was kind of like the seed of that, which to me, like, it just kind of played hand in hand. And honestly, like, what I really loved about that genre wasn't really like the rapping, because the rapping was like, yeah, it was kind of like corny because like these guys are because they're hard or whatever, but they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yo, check it out,
That's
check it out,
exactly what
yeah.
I'm
And
saying,
it's
yeah.
like, you're not hard. So like it wasn't really that, it was more so the sound. Like I really
Yeah.
love the sampling of jazz with the drums. Like that's what really enthralled me. And the imagery was so cool because it was dark and it was rugged. And that's the thing back then. It was like, you gotta be raw, man. You gotta be raw, hardcore. Like that was the thing. And I really liked that as like someone in high school. Like that was something that I kind of resonated with, was just the imagery and the sampling, the sound.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, one
Mm.
thing that I always regret, especially being in Houston, is like not appreciating like sip and syrup music as much as I should have. Because like now I listen to it, I'm like, man, like I really had like a gold mine of like a different style of music. Obviously, when it comes to like Mike Jones and like Pimp C and Bun B, they're always there, so you always could listen to it. But I never really like said, "Oh, I'm a fan of these people," because it was always the idea of being a contrarian to everything that was in my face. That was just the whole idea. So I just never accepted what was popular because I was a little pussy hipster kid. Right.
Same, same.
Yeah.
But do you
Yeah, that
guys
was
know
like
about the secret Wu-Tang Clan album? The One of
yeah,
One? Yeah, okay. Because
yeah,
I asked Fola the other day. She was like, "What is that? I don't know that. I don't know what that is."
yeah.
But
Like,
you know
wasn't
who
it bought
Martin
by that one
Shkreli is?
guy?
Wait,
You
what?
go.
Wait, what
You
happened?
go.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm familiar with that album because I remember it got like very news spread heavy because it got bought by that one. Like, I think he was like this. What was his name?
Martin Shkreli.
Got arrested. Martin Shkreli. Yeah, I remember he
Yeah.
was just like, I was gonna buy the album
You
because
bought
you
it, right?
can have it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I think it got. I think they somehow got it back, and they're just like, okay, we're still not gonna release it. But I think it eventually did get released, but I don't think it got like official kind of
I
release.
think
Kind of,
there's
I
a
don't know.
website where there's a countdown for like, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. That's the last thing I read.
Yeah, it could
Because
be. I'm not
he played it
sure.
live, right? Or in a on a live
I think he did.
Instagram something or what.
Yeah, he, yeah, I think he did. He definitely like leaked. He definitely leaked the album, but
He
I don't
got
think he ever got like
sued.
official release. Yeah, went through that whole thing. But yeah, like I think they don't. He doesn't have it anymore. I think Wu-Tang Clan still has it back in their catalog, but yeah, man, like stuff
See,
like
I mean, it's
what
a
do you guys think about that guy, Martin Shkreli, first of all?
I don't know a
what was
lot
the question?
about him. I mean, I just know like surface level stuff, but like I don't really know a lot about like what's his about.
What was the question?
What do you think about that Martin Shkreli guy?
I like Chava said, I don't know too much about him. I remember watching one documentary. I just remember seeing that he was like a weird kid, kind of to himself, very, very smart, a little pompous, arrogant. Um, he was just like a character. And I think for him as a character to be, I even forgot what was he in the tech field or was he within?
He's a tech, yeah,
That is,
he's a tech bro.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just remember him being a big player in that field, and then all of a sudden being like in the hip hop spins of news because he's like, I have the album,
Do you know
I
something
have it.
about?
You guys don't have.
Yeah, so what I know about him is he ran this pharma company and he got all this flack in the news because he raised the price of an AIDS drug to like 900% or something, you know, which is in reality fucked up, right? Because
Mm,
obviously, people can't afford it. But when you listen to him, right, and you hear that he says, like, see, every drug company does this. And he's like, I don't know why I'm getting all this flag. But then when you just realize, okay, he just looks like the super geek. So when he's in the news and he's saying, I had the Wu-Tang album, it just makes you get mad at him for also
Yeah.
raising the drug prices. Because again, most of the people that do that, they're just behind the scenes. They don't come out and say that they do that publicly. They don't do any stories about it. So he just got like the mark as like super dork, and now everyone hates him.
Yeah, when I read
yeah,
that he had the album, it was like, why him? Like so many other people more deserving.
yeah. It just almost kind of like it was like a slap in the face. He was just kind of like, "Hey, you hip hop nerds." He's like, "I'm also gonna get on your back too."
Yeah.
Because like I thought it was sick, but I do remember it was pharmaceutical. Now that you mention it, Louis, but I just remember him being like, "Oh, he's such an asshole for this," but then also I'm like, "Man, he's also an asshole for this. He's just a straight asshole." Like I think that's just him. Like this is like he just wants to be infamously known as like the asshole guy, like the bad guy, and he played it. He was a character.
And what about present day or today's rappers? Who do you fuck the most with?
See me, I'm really big into like I'm still like an underground guy, bro. So like I really like underground stuff. I mean, some are not really underground
How
now.
underground do you go? Like a
I'm
kid
talking about
with
real
a
underground.
mixtape? Uh,
Yeah, kid like a 17-year-old kid with a mixtape where I'm just like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
kid is amazing. Um, so like I mean I still like underground stuff, like even the stuff that I was to like maybe when I was in college, like Uno, Saw Baby, guys like that. But like I like the newer guys too. Like I really like this one kid, his name's Che Romani from Atlanta. He's really good. Laser Dim, he's fun. I like his energy. Um, who else? I really like um this is one guy. Nah, I gotta look through my likes. Um, I want to make sure I get his name right. Oh yeah, there's this one kid. His name Young Fazo. He's really, really good too. I like his stuff. But yeah, I've always been really big, really big. Like I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Not really,
no,
right?
just send a screenshot. Take a screenshot and send it
Okay.
chat.
You know
But
what's
if I
funny? Is like Femi's older than me, but every time he talks about music, he makes me feel 45.
What are you listening to, Lua?
Man, I mean, in terms of rap music, it's like it's a very small circle because it's hard to keep up, right? So, like, obviously, Kanye's still up there because
Yeah.
he's still a music, right? Uh, Playboy Cardi to me right now is one of the most interesting artists that has ever existed
that
because
part.
yeah, just because of everything, right? Uh I would say Travis Scott, Pusha T, again, very simple list, like the most basic list.
Okay, let me ask this related to rap, but it's a little long. The question. Well, if you were a wrestler, uh, I guess not that long, but if you were a wrestler, your outfit, would you choose Off-White or Cactus Jack?
Mm,
I would choose Off White.
mm.
What would your outfit be like?
Okay, so if what
So
that's the thing, like
Off-White, and what would it be like?
so it, I would definitely put on some of the more handmade old school off-white stuff, right? Because to me that seems more tactile to a wrestling fan versus like the whole gimmicky thing, right? So I would like have those like old school Pyrex off-white things stitched, and I would just come out like, you know, this generation of yada yada is yada yada. We need to get back to old school wrestling. It's like old school off white. Like I think that'd be most.
And then you'd be like, "Don't touch me, it's Off-White. Don't touch me, it's Off-White."
Yeah, I'll probably have to say Off-White too. I like Cactus Jack, but I think Cactus Jack is a little bit more casual. And I feel like as a wrestler, your image is just as important. Rapping and wrestling kind of play hand in hand like that in terms of just like characters. But I think Off-White as a brand has more allure to it because one, they have Virgil Abloh has, he has more intricate pieces. He has his like ready to wear stuff, but he has more intricate pieces that I think if I was a wrestler, if I were to throw on, it would make me look more grand. I can like come through looking flashy. I'll talk my shit. I'll be like, this is Off-White. You know?
Question before this thing ends. If you were a wrestler, what would your theme music be?
Mm. Man, so for me, I really like that era of wrestling, which was like late 90s, 2000s, where during the new metal craze. So for me, it'll probably be what's that one corn song? I think it's called Blind.
Yeah.
It'll
Ba-na-na-na,
probably something like yeah, the build up, yeah,
ba-na-na-na-na-na.
the build up, yeah. It'll probably I
Yeah.
think that'll make me hype, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll probably come to something like that where it's like a good build up and it's like boom, and then with the fireworks and everything, like yeah.
What about you, Chava?
Uh, well, I would definitely tap into the Mexican side of things, and because I love Rey Mysterio,
Hmm.
um, what he represents and his style, and uh, so I would definitely go that route and some really crazy Mexican song, like folk song, um, just to like bring the Mexican, like the true Mexican
Yeah.
Yeah.
warrior into the ring. That's what I would do. What about you, Lua?
Honestly, to me, hands down, the best walkout song would be the Arctic Monkey song, Do I Wanna Know?
Nice.
Honestly, I think,
Especially
yeah,
that goes well with the off-white uh vibe,
yeah,
Yeah.
especially.
100%.
Like that's a good one. I would never
That's
thought
actually a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
because it's slow,
Man,
you know?
you
Like
had me second guess my answer now.
it's like you come in walk like there's no like running and like jumping and shit. It's like you come walking and like people like you're calm and like people know you're about to fuck some shit up, you know?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh
That's a
man.
good one.
Um, in other news, I today was my very first African church situation. That was pretty crazy. I
Yeah,
didn't. Well,
I wanted to
Femi was
ask you.
there. Femi was there.
Yeah, I was definitely there. I mean, Chava got the full African church experience, not the length where it's like super, super long, but he got the full experience of like the theatrics of it all. But I wanted to ask, like, what was like your opinions, like seeing it all like happen? Because you said I remember having that conversation with you after. You're like, church back home is nothing like this.
No, church
Like,
back home feels so church back like Catholic church is a mass. It's just like very quiet, and you stand up, and the guy's talking, and then you sit down, and then you stand up again, and then you kneel, and then the guy's talking again, and it's very very shush, very quiet. And this is the opposite of all that.
yes, this is like Nigerian guy sweating, seeing the spit fly out of his mouth. He's like, ah, fire, fire, fire.
I was
This is
at
the
the
conversation.
as we got into the space. We were at the lobby, and I was like, "What is going on in there? What is happening?" Like this is like a metal concert. Like everybody's screaming. What the hell?
Yeah.
Did,
uh,
did they bring people to the front? And Chava, did you go to the front?
I didn't personally go. I'll try to go next time for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
they definitely did bring people to the front. Yeah.
people and babies, and the guy was screaming at the baby, and it's like, damn, this is wild. This
Baby
is
right here,
so.
spit, sweat. It's like, you are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. Blowing that
What
baby up.
the one of the things I was thinking is like, how many outfits do these women have in their closet every Sunday? Like, how many
Man,
outfits do you have to have?
I say that probably makes up at least 80% of their closet. It's
It's
just that.
like, because you can't come in and wear the same shit you wore
Yeah.
last.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like how many
Yeah.
outfit like the size of these closets, man, is
And
crazy.
they overflow. They're full of just colors
Uh,
and
You
different
have to have
patterns.
like an extra bedroom just for your shit for your church stuff. It's crazy.
It's literally the Met Gala of Nigerian people every single Sunday.
No, really.
And the uncle with the gold watch and the thing and the shades and the damn.
Uh,
Yeah, it's definitely like, yeah.
half a bottle of cologne sprayed.
Yeah, yeah. Have a ball
Uh,
cologne sprayed.
it was definitely a very interesting experience. I can't understand what the guy's saying though. He's because
Yeah.
he's going
Talking
like,
really, really fast.
Now,
yeah.
Chava, in terms of the tongues that were being used, right, when they're speaking in
Oh, he
that,
froze.
I remember the first time when I heard that, I was just like, okay.
Wait, say that again. You froze a little.
Baby froze, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever they're speaking in tongues, right? You know, where did your mind go when you heard that for the first time?
I mean, I just tuned out for to be honest. Is like I just like at first it's like, what is he saying? Okay, I can't. Let me just like tune out. Just autopilot, I guess. But I couldn't because he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, every sentence he was like, fire by force, yeah. And with the word, yeah. And the blood, yeah. And the fire, yeah. I was like, I'm like, this guy is a showman. He's a full-on showman. Like I was like almost watching it as not as like someone performing, like doing a performance. It's like an intricate performance. That's what it feels like, you know. And that's why I love African church because it just feels like I'm at a concert.
I'll definitely go again. Yeah, I told fall. I
Yeah,
definitely go. Hey, this is about to
yeah.
end.
There's one story I want to share with you guys, but I guess we'll do it on the Zoom call right after this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll call you.